right. Good evening, Corona Daze Professional Development Group. It's me, Danette Edwards, the founder of Corona Daze Professional Development Group. Whoa. And this evening, I'm with Dr. Nikki Modeste, and she's going to talk to us this evening about pushing through the fear. We're going to go over quieting that negative voice. She's going to talk about how you don't lose your beliefs.
Yes.
And how we can be patient and give it some time, but don't give up. So Dr. Nikki is an industrial and organizational psychologist and consultant who is passionate about helping others develop and see the potential within themselves. She believes in positive and gestalt psychology that focuses on the individual from a holistic perspective. Within organizations, her expertise includes leadership development, coaching, change management, diversity and equity and inclusion, facilitation, and employee well-being. And guys, this evening, we're gonna have it both an interactive session and then a dedicated Q&A. You know me, I'm going to mute myself and turn my camera off and turn it over right now. Thank you.
I am going to share my screen. If you give me just a moment to get that up. So 1 moment. That's good. All right. Good evening, everyone. I am humbled that you decided to be here tonight, this evening. I know it's been quite a long work week. And again, thank you for coming along. It's been quite a challenge for me, so I know it might have been a challenging work week for you as well. And tonight I wanted to share with you the topic that I felt near and dear to me, which is pushing through the fear in your lives, quieting the negative voice and maintaining your beliefs throughout the struggles that you may be facing. I thought this topic was relevant as I, of course, have personal experience of being in a place where I would doubt myself on wanting to step outside of my comfort zone to do something I hadn't done before. Even get it to the point where the doubt and fear would prevent me from being my whole self and stepping into my light. Please understand that I am a work in progress and I am not by any means perfect. I'm still learning and as I experience new things in my life. But I wanted to share my journey with you and how I've got to where I am today. These images are a representation of who I am, and I thought it was important that you see these and find yourself in these images. My journey, like many of you, has been a rocky and turbulent one. At 18, I had my first son. I just knew that I was grown at that point, and I thought marriage and children was what life was all about, and possibly the end of my story. However, in the back of my mind, I had hopes of owning my own business and running someone else's. I took some college classes right after high school, having new independence, of course. As you can imagine, I wanted to party a little bit more than I wanted to attend school, and quickly found out that I couldn't do both. So I took a break from school. I suffered a series of many low points during that break. And after school, after having that break in school, I told myself that I need better and there must be better for me. Well, after getting married at 25 and having a second kid at 26 and one on the way, I told myself that life it's just not this, just can't be this. This isn't it. I needed more. And at that point, I decided to pursue more. I started taking college classes again. My ex-husband was deployed, and I would ask my neighbors to watch my kids and even scrape up enough money to hire a babysitter. Well, while in math class, my water broke, and because this was now my third child, I knew what to expect. I even went shopping before I went to the hospital so that my daughter would have some nice things before making an appearance into the world. I had to tell myself to be persistent in the face of adversity and the struggles that I was facing, and where I wanted to be. I knew I could be somewhere than where I was at that point in time. My dream changed a little, but I never gave up on it. The woman on the top right of this slide represents the warrior that I am. Um, in the midst of all the struggles that I had, I fought through it. The elephant on the lower left corner represents the wisdom that I picked up along my journey. The woman on the right hand, top right hand corner represents all the words of affirmations that I tell myself, and in detail what I see when I look in the mirror every day. The woman on fire, the lower right hand corner, represents that fire is often necessary to make something beautiful, that it doesn't always have to mean destruction, and you can embrace the challenges and rise above them. The phoenix in the middle represents the fact that I use the flames to become stronger and more fierce and ready for anything that comes my way, emerging as a force to be reckoned with. At this point, I wasn't going to let anything stop me from accomplishing my goals. So my daughter came to classes with me as we couldn't afford to pay a babysitter for 3 children because she was nursing. So in spite of that, I was able to get my bachelor's in business administration before she turned 2. How many of you have had a dream or desire that kept nagging at you in the back of your mind that wouldn't let you sleep at night? Or you would dream about it and you would dream about it, but it just wasn't, just weren't sure how you would get there. Well, that was me. This was just the beginning of my journey. I would suffer many more losses, many heartaches along the journey, but and I even slowed down due to those losses, but I didn't stop pursuing my dreams. I want to pause here for just a moment and ask if anyone has any questions, or take a moment and think about the fears that might have been holding you back. And because of those fears, you're unable to push forward because of them. So as Danette mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, this is an interactive presentation. I would like for you to use the code on menti.com. So go to menti.com and use the code 3192384. And the question on the slide is, think of an image or song that represents you. What is it? And tell me in the chat here.
So will you see it automatically if they go to
Well,
the,
yeah, it'll pop up here.
right? So, all right. So make sure people understand that, guys. I see people are in this live.
Okay.
Go ahead to the website.
So go to menti.com and you type in the code 3192384. And you'll see the question pop up when you type in that code. And you can do it on your phones, actually. All I do is win. Yes, yes, I love that.
Are you there? I see you in there. Are they responding?
Yeah, I see one that says all I do is win.
All right. So, okay, we'll give them another minute and see.
Yeah, I'll give them another minute before I continue on. Hilariously enough, I also identified with the Phoenix image. Yes, yes, that is a strong, very powerful image. All right, I'll give it one more minute for you guys to think of an image or song that represents you. All right.
Honestly enough, I also identify with the cream. Right.
Okay. At some point, we've all experienced some setbacks and disappointments through our career and even in our personal lives. Oftentimes, the voices that are trying to protect us are the very ones, oftentimes the voices that are trying to protect us, help protect us from being hurt or disappointed, again, is what holds us back from stepping into our destiny and leaving failures behind. But I am here to tell you that it's okay to fail. How else are you going to learn what doesn't work? Use those failures as building blocks to get you to where you are trying to be. When those negative voices, are talking to you, block them out and tell yourself that I can do this. Use those failures as building and get to where you want to be. When those negative voices emerge, and trust me, they will, try recentering yourself. Use some technique like mindfulness meditation. For those of you who attended the mindfulness meditation, was use those techniques for you. Look and tell yourself you deserve to be you are. You deserve to be successful. You have worked hard to get to where you are now. Shift your thinking into all the good things that have occurred up until this point, and focus on the good things that that have happened to you, and to getting to where you want to achieve again. Speak it and believe it will happen. When you hear the voice that says, "Well, what if I fail?" Tell yourself, if I don't try, then I already have failed. If it will take practice to quiet the negative voice, but you will definitely get there. And I want to, again, on this slide, ask yourself, what is holding you back? Disappointments and failures would definitely stop us from moving forward. And, it's okay that you hear no. No is not the end of the world. Keep moving on into your life, and just keep moving forward. That no is not going to stop you from where you need to be. That no is just a stepping stone. Many others are there that will maybe give you an opportunity. And then try something different and keep trying until you succeed. Don't allow that no to be the end point for you. Just because someone told you that maybe you're not a right fit for the job, maybe you don't have the right skills, another person will come along that is everything that you were looking for and more. All right, again, this is an interactive session. So I would like to know from you, what are some of your fears? What's holding you back from achieving your goals? If you don't mind telling me, again, this is anonymous, and this is a safe space. So nothing that you say is going to be, judged. You are okay to tell us everything that's on your mind. Go to menti.com. If you're just joining us, use the code 3192384. Let me know what some of your fears are. Let me know what's holding you back from achieving your dreams and your goals. And, we can chat about it. I'll give you about a minute or so to type it in, and it'll pop up on the screen for me. Yeah, I'm terrified of the thought and risk of failure. I don't know as much as I think I know. I can't do all the things I think I can do, and people will find out. That is called imposter syndrome. And it's okay that you feel that way. Let's see if I can move this text box. Lack of clarity. With the pandemic, I've decided that now is the perfect time for a career switch, but I'm not sure where I should lean to. Okay. Now, in regards to the lack of clarity with the pandemic, I've decided that now is the perfect time for a career switch, but I'm not sure where I should lean to. You can utilize your resources, you can network and bounce those ideas off the people who are in the spaces or places that you want to be. Ask them what skills it took, ask them if they've got some contacts and resources to help you get you to where you want to be. But it is absolutely okay that you are unsure, but lean on some of your resources, some of your network that you can talk to, you can bounce those ideas off of. Um, and I don't know as much as I think I know. Listen, I've been there. I've suffered from imposter syndrome. I have doubted myself, which is what I'm going to talk about in just a moment here. But you've got everything that it is going to take in order for you to be successful. You have to, again, you've got to quiet that negative voice. We're going to talk about that in just a moment as well. But imposter syndrome is real. What you have to do in order to reverse that imposter syndrome is do some mindfulness meditation. As I mentioned before, look in the mirror, do some positive affirmations, write everything down that you have achieved up until this point to give yourself a boost of confidence because you've come so far. You aren't where you used to be, even though you aren't where you want to be, but you definitely aren't where you used to be. And being terrified and the thought of risk and failure, that is absolutely normal. Everybody has those same thoughts. You've got to quiet that voice and say, I can do it, and overcome that fear as much as possible. I'm going to talk about that in just a moment as well, what you can do to kick fear in the butt. And I say just that. But thank you guys. I appreciate that. Give it just a second more, see if anybody else has something that they want to include here or contribute. Okay. So don't lose your beliefs. How many times have you doubted yourself and done something you know was not right for you? Do you listen to others instead of listening to your own intuition? Do you compare yourself to others and think that it should be you? Don't do that. You don't know their story and how they got to where they are. You may only see the result of the blood, sweat, and tears of that happening, and not what happened behind the scenes. You are not going to see the countless failures and the setbacks that they have gone through. And it's okay to ask for advice, just as I mentioned with some of the comments that happened just a moment ago, and to hear how they achieved success, but don't use that as your Bible. You can allow it to guide you, but use your own intuition and your beliefs into what you think is going to be right for you and right for your life and what makes sense for you. Again, it's okay to ask for to seek advice in areas that you're not strong in. Your intuition tells you everything that you need in order to stay the course. Do it and stand firm. Do not waver from your intuition and your beliefs. Use affirmations. I'm a big advocate of affirmations and telling myself that I can achieve all that I set my mind to. I am confident, I'm strong, I am worthy of whatever it is that I think I'm worthy of. I'm worthy of success. I'm worthy of that job that I want to go out for. I can do all things that I put my mind to. You've got to use affirmations and switch that thinking within yourself so that you become more confident. You become more sturdy in your beliefs so that you can fight those thoughts that occur in your mind on a day-to-day basis. And I just want to show this quote here that says, your beliefs are your beliefs. Don't let other people's judgments and opinions of you stop you from being yourself. And that is absolutely true. You've got to, again, stand firm in who you are. Let your light shine. Don't compare yourself to others. It's important that you believe in yourself. It is definitely important that you do that. All right, so here is another interactive question for you guys. What is your why and how will you get there? So the why is, why do you want to get to where you want to be? If that's the job, if that's starting a business, if that's switching careers, how do you see yourself getting there? Go back to menti.com and use that code 3192384. I'll give it just a minute um, for some responses to pop up. How are we doing, guys? Are we out there? Do you see the menti.com and are you able to type in the code? I want freedom owning my own business. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. All right. For the person that said you want freedom of owning your own business, how would you get there? It's not enough that you're going to say it, but what steps are you going to take to get yourself there?
Let me just jump in for a minute,
Sure.
Dr. Nikki. Guys, you're there, and this is totally anonymous. I know these are deeper questions than we usually get, but I'm enjoying this evening. So, not that I always enjoy. This is a different one. So go ahead. You're in the chat. I see you on Facebook. It's okay to answer these questions. So I'm just going to drop that there and leave it. Yeah.
So should I?
I'm gonna mute
And I'm just going to reiterate, yes, this is anonymous. This is a judge-free, safe space. So if you feel comfortable to express what's on your mind, you are not going to be judged. We're not taking this information and putting it out anywhere else. This is for you and you alone.
And guys, I have to say it, I'm inviting you back already. Usually it's the members that do this to me during the presentation, but I want you to come back. I want you to come back at a more popular time
Okay.
slot, and you can do anything else. You don't have to do this again, but I'm really, really loving this. Yes.
Thank you, Danette. I appreciate it.
Let me give you your time.
It's okay. Hey, I want to be interactive. I love it. So yeah, I want to talk about the fact of me being here, and I'm going to share this, in just a moment with another slide that pops up here. But the having the freedom of owning your own business, that is why I'm doing what I do. I could not see myself working for someone else for until I'm 65. I just could not see it. That's why I achieved, my doctorate degree. I'm going to be repeating myself here because I'm going to talk about that in another slide. But the reason why I'm doing for that freedom, I'm not the person that does well in organizations, and not that I can't be told what to do, but I'm very much a people person, and oftentimes we get managers that are not people, right? They don't know how to lead people, so they miss the mark on so many levels, and they don't understand that in an organization we are human beings and we're not robots. That we've got emotions, we got feelings, and that impacts our productivity. So if you've got a manager that is a tyrant, that leads by fear, that doesn't know how to treat people, that is absolutely going to affect how you want to show up every day, and even if you want to go to the job every day. A toxic work environment is stressful, you know, and one of the reasons that people leave their job is because of their managers. So for me, that is one of the reasons why I want freedom from, you know, be having my own business. So remote working, yeah, one of the things that I wrote down, you know, getting up to this point is that, you know, I wanted to work remotely, you know, at least 3 days a week. And COVID happened. So I'm working home, you know, 5 days a week. Granted, I'm still working on my business behind the scenes, but some of my affirmations, some of my desires and my dreams have come true by me just writing it down and speaking it into existence. All right, I'm giving another minute to see if someone else has to wants to contribute. All right. Um, Whatever it is that you are looking to achieve, it won't happen overnight. It just won't. Just last year, I lost my job, and it was right after I graduated with my doctorate, which took me, by the way, 7 years to complete. And being a single parent with two kids who were considering college at that time just was not an ideal time for me not to have a job from a financial perspective. Um, my dream was to have my own business, as I just mentioned, you know, before, and someone else mentioned as well. But not having a cushion to help get me there just was not going to work for me at all. I looked for several months, reached out to numerous contacts, landed interviews, but nothing was a fit. Either I didn't like the role or the organization didn't think that I was right for them. I reached out to countless of my contacts. I eventually, you know, landed interviews, but nothing was a fit. Either, you know, I just money was running out and bills needed to be paid. It was hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And at my lowest point, you know, I had to phone a friend to get me to help to get me out of the hole that I was in. I had to consistently write my achievements down and remember how far I came and not to give up. So I began to network. I ended up landing a contract position, making far less than I did prior to you know, being laid off, and it was a struggle. But I needed that in order to keep the lights on and keep food on the table. I continued to network, and I joined associations where I could leverage those contacts, and I even took on pro bono projects. And anything I do to help get me to where I needed to be. Then a colleague from a previous organization contacted me about a position she thought that I would be a right fit for. I interviewed and I ended up getting the position. After all of that, you know, after all the searching, after all the struggles and, you know, being financially strapped, I ended up getting a great position that was a right fit for me. Um, and I interviewed, you know, as I mentioned, and I got the position. The month prior to me getting the position, I started all the necessary steps to create my business. I registered my business with the local and government, within the local and government sectors. And I told myself to do small things and to not lose sight of my goals and my dreams. And I absolutely did not. So on the screen here, it says, just because you're struggling does not mean you are failing. Every great success requires some kind of struggle to get there. Good things don't come to those who wait. Good things come to those who work hard and struggle to pursue the goals and dreams they believe in. And I absolutely embody that, you know. It's it's often difficult because you're going through the struggles to see the light, you know, and to see the forest for the trees. But I'm here to tell you, it happens eventually. It may not happen when you want it to happen, but it definitely happens eventually. Then the other graphic here on the slide is, you know, it has the arrow for your path and a life map. listen, it's not going to be a straight path. You are going to take some windy roads. You are going to climb some hills. You're going to go through some valleys. You're going to go through some rain, some sunshine. It is not going to be a straight, a perfect, and a beautiful sunshine. Sunshiny day with unicorns on the side, waving you by and cheering you on. It's going to be hard. It is definitely going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it. All the struggles that you've gone through are going to help you for what you are destined to do and for what you want to achieve.
I'm gonna come in for a moment, Dr. Modeste.
Yes.
So I have one comment here that didn't get through. So
Okay.
I'm going to give it to you. So it's from Lauren Roots, and she says, I'm not sure if my response went through on Menti. My why is to find her true passion and turn it into employment. As far as how we'll get there, I'm still trying to figure that part out.
Okay. So I'll pause here just a moment so I can address that. So a passion for employment, if you know what it is that you want to do, again, seek those out who may be doing some of what you're doing, and take some elements from them. But again, use your own tuition and how you can see yourself achieving that goal. Take some classes, maybe do some workshops. There's a lot of free resources on LinkedIn. There's a lot of free resources that you can tap into that will help you mold and shape, what that's going to look like for you. All right. So what does success look like for you? The only prescription for success is hard work, persistence, and resilience. You may look at someone, and I'm going to, reiterate this and talk about this until you guys, understand. And, even without this presentation, but I tell people all the time that come to me, you can't look to other people and how they've achieved their success. It's not going to look the same. How they got there is not your story. Sure, you can use their examples, as I mentioned, in some elements of what they're doing, but you aren't going to be able to apply the same methods to what works for you. Cater the advice you have received along with your intuition. I'm a big advocate of using your gut, your beliefs, your intuition to making that work for you. Oftentimes we don't listen to our intuition. Instead, we'll listen to those outside voices, but we don't listen to ourselves. And we've got everything that we need inside of us in order to achieve what we want to do. The main point that I want you to remember is that your story is your story. Do what makes you happy. Live in your truth and continue to push yourself beyond your fears. When you are scared, do it anyway. If your dreams don't scare you, they aren't big enough. I know that's cliche, but it is actually true. Exist and thrive outside of your fears. It won't be easy, but it definitely will be worth it. Fear is false evidence appearing real, or forget everything and rise. Look, I know firsthand how fear can cause doubt and prevent you from achieving your dreams, your goals, or even missing out on your blessings due to being stuck in that what if moment. Tell yourself you can do it, that your mind is only showing you what it wants to see because of the uncertainty and familiarity of failure. You won't be able to move unless you quiet the negative voice and stick out your foot and kick fear right in the butt. I was going to say another word, but we'll keep it PG here. You have everything you need within you to be successful. Take a deep breath with me and say, you've got this. You've got it. You can do it. All right, that is the end of my presentation. I want to take questions, and I will provide answers to your questions, and we're going to do this interactive, or you can just unmute yourself and ask me directly. So here it is. Again, the code is 3192384, and go to menti.com in order to submit anonymously your question, and I will answer for you.
Okay, guys, so I'm just going to repeat that. So you can ask your questions in the chat, or you can ask them anonymously. So I'm going to be looking into the chat to see if anyone drops a question, or you can go ahead onto menti.com and put the code in and go ahead and ask your question anonymously.
Thank you, Danette.
You're welcome. Yeah, so watch parties. Myself.
All right, guys, it's a safe space, so feel comfortable asking any questions. Again, you can be anonymous, or you can unmute yourself, or you can put it in the chat. So those are your options if you do have any questions. Or you can just talk about your journey. If you've have a journey that you want to you want to talk about, and how fear has maybe prevented you from a blessing, or you want to know how to overcome a hurdle, I can answer that too. Thank you so much for your wisdom. What have you found are good ways to push yourself to start something when the fear of failure looms over you? That is an absolutely great question. So one of the things that I do is I do some mindfulness techniques. So, I'll meditate. I'll do a lot of affirmations. I've got a book full of affirmations that I will write down and practice on a day-to-day basis. Again, I'll do some meditation. I'll watch some videos of some inspirational videos to help me get into that energy, into that space where I tell myself I'm confident, I can do it, and then even though I'm a little nervous, I still do it anyway. I force myself to overcome that fear in order to get to where I want to be. And again, it's not easy, guys. It's not, what I'm telling you is not, not something that is easy for me. I still struggle with it, but I push myself in order to get to where I want to be. All right, so I will into the second question. Let's see. There we go. Oops. Let me try that again. Oh, I lost that question. Here we go. Oh, did I get it? 1 second, I'm having some technical difficulties here. There we go. How are you feeling about where you currently are on your journey? I'm feeling pretty good. Again, it's been a rocky road for me to get to where I am now. Now I've got some consulting projects. I'm with a couple of different organizations where we're doing some good work out in the community. That took me networking. That took me doing a lot of things to help me feel more confident and know that I've got all the skills and abilities that are necessary in order to do the consulting projects that I'm looking to do. So how are you feeling about yeah, I'm feeling pretty great. Again, it took me 7 years to get through my doctorate. Even passing comps was was very nerve-wracking. I didn't think that I was going to pass. And I cried the moment that I found out that I passed. Getting through my doctorate was a challenge in and of itself. My daughter was a competitive gymnast throughout my doctoral journey. And I would take my laptop to her meet so that I could write papers, I could submit my papers, and I could stay on top of, the my submissions. And during my doctoral journey as well, I had to cut off all, social activities so I could focus on achieving, what I wanted to achieve. I didn't think that I was going to lose my job last year. I was not a good fit for that job. I knew it, but instead of me listening to my intuition, I stayed there and ended up getting fired. And it was okay, and I knew that either I was going to quit or I was going to get fired. And the funny thing is, I had my resignation already written out that day, but the person that I was the person that was my manager at the time, beat me to it. But it was a toxic environment. I was not right for that job. And most times we know that we're not right for something, but we still stick it out and we suffer in silence. Do not do that. I'm here to tell you that that brings on more stress in your life. That brings on a lot of emotional turmoil for you, and it's just not good from a physical and mental standpoint. Um, and you have to listen to your intuition. But I wouldn't trade what I went through for anything in the world, because it taught me a lot of life lessons. It taught me to listen to myself, right? It taught me to see things, that see the signs. When the signs are there that it's time for you to get out, you need to do that. You need to get out. So I feel great of where I am right now. Where do you find your affirmations? Any recommendations of speakers or books that you have found super helpful? Oh, absolutely. So I go online and look up, positive affirmations. There are a slew of things that you can definitely look up, in regards to affirmations. Pinterest has got affirmations. Um, there is a book. I wish I could bring that book down here so that you could see what the name of the book is. I'm sorry, I'll have to get you the name of the book. But in that book, it's got like some daily antidotes and some words of wisdom to help you get through that day. It's like a 365-day um, type book where you read it and you can apply it to your life, of like parables that help you, again, with confidence, with courage, and overcoming the fear. But it's there's a Eric, the hip hop preacher. He's a little aggressive at times, but he gets me going. On YouTube, he's got a lot of videos that he has published on YouTube's that help, with some things. Will Smith actually has a lot of videos with those not words of affirmations, but things to help boost your confidence, things to help, put your mind into perspective of, you know, um, you know, reveling in your accomplishments and all in where you've come from, and, celebrating those achievements. And even though you're not where you want to be, but celebrating where you have come from. So things like that really help me out. And then on Spotify, there's mindfulness, radio. There is a lot of apps that will help you just recenter yourself and really come into, yourself as a whole being, and understanding your light, so that you are more confident and you feel and you emanate that confidence. But I can send Danette some of the books that I do read so that she can put it in the group. All right, Danette, there are no more questions. I'll give it another minute to see if there are going to be some more coming in. Again, you can unmute yourself, or you can remain anonymous by asking on menti.com, and I will answer the question.
All right, guys, come on, because once I start my questions.
I forgot forgot you had questions too, didn't I?
No, I like,
Oh my gosh.
you guys know you still have time. I asked my first two questions, but then my last question, I don't want anything after that. That needs to be the final words we hear from our presenter. After my first two, they can still drop stuff. But guys, you got anything else for Dr. Modeste? Am I saying you correct?
They can be, let them be comfortable. I don't want to force anything. It's all good. I'm here. They can reach out afterwards.
Yeah, and you'll come back. Now, I've never invited anyone just like this. Usually they're like, as you're talking now, they're in the chat saying, come back. That's usually one of the questions. Will you come back? But I've already asked it, so.
Yeah, I wish I had written down, and I've got a ton of books, but I am terrible with names.
That's okay. But yes, anything you share, I'll post up in the group. And guys, you know how it is. I will post up contact information. Definitely connect on LinkedIn. And I'll let Dr. Nikki know that you saw her presentation here in the group. Tell her something about the presentation when you connect with her. I did post this. This was a perfect follow-up to our mindfulness presentation from last night.
Yeah, I wish I would have known that. I definitely would have attended that. So it just, just shows that the universe knows what to do, and I'm in alignment with that,
Let's speak to the alignment of the universe. It was a perfect compliment. I will send you the link. I'm going to post it on YouTube tonight, and I'll send you the link so you can listen and watch it, or watch it at your leisure.
Okay. And I'm, while people are maybe thinking about what question they have, or again, I don't want to force it, but if there is someone out there that has a powerful affirmation, put that in the chat here, or you can put it in Menti. Looking through this book, I write everything in this book, so I'm looking for some affirmations, my affirmation page that I usually say to myself, and it is not, appearing at the moment.
Okay, I love this comment, Linwood. So Linwood says, this has been really helpful. I was slow to answer questions because I don't think about them often, and that is going to change after this presentation. Thank you for making me aware of that.
Yeah, I so appreciate that comment. I found them. I really appreciate that comment, because what we will often do is live in our heads, right? So I am someone who has allowed the people in my head to set up shop, and I've slowly but surely, kicked them out one by one. And, a few of them, they have those negative voices, telling me I can't do something, or, saying you aren't good enough, like that imposter syndrome that someone had brought up, that, you don't have the skills, or, you're not ready to do what you think you're trying to do. But I've slowly and surely, evicted them from my mind, because I've got everything that I need within me. And they're just trying to, because of experience. Experience has taught them, the people that are trying to reside in my head, but I'm evicting, that it's not comfortable. It's pushing through the fears is not what we want to do. And living in the comfort zone is where we want to be. And I don't want to be in the comfort zone, because there's no growth there. I want to, go far beyond the reaches of my mind, and achieve things that I didn't even think that I could achieve. I didn't think that I was going to achieve a doctorate, but here I am. I didn't think that, my business was going to take off, but, it is. It took some time, and that's okay. And that's the thing, too, that I want to have, that I want to convey to everybody, that it's going to take time. It's not going to be an overnight thing that, you go from not being successful to being successful, overnight. It's going to take some time. There's going to be some steps involved before you get there. And that's what it took for me. I had to attach myself to the right people who, could get me to where I wanted to be. Again, I applied some of the elements of what they were doing, but I catered, I molded what I needed to my life and what worked for me. And used my intuition to help me get to where I am. Again, I'm still a work in progress. I don't have it all figured out, but I know for damn sure I'm not where I used to be.
Love it.
So here are my affirmations that I've written down. So I give myself space. I give myself the space to blossom from where I am to the space I am growing into. I am patient with myself. I know that I am loved, and in being loved, when I am ready, I welcome another to partake in that love. That's for relationships. Anybody that's trying to get a relationship boo out there. In my peaceful state, I approach the day with openness to my self-development. I love that one. I surrender my desires to the flow of divine creation and allow my higher self to guide me. I have the discipline to love myself first. I know that I am whole and complete. I have the power to make choices that are in alignment with my highest good when it comes to my relationships. I am grateful for my awareness. I'm honest with myself, and I feel at ease when sharing my truth with others. Everything we do begins with a thought and intention. The most valuable gift you can give yourself is the gift of knowing who you are. With that knowingness comes an understanding and awareness of what it is that you want to experience.
Love it. I'm going to post an affirmations prompt, guys. Dr. Nikki, are you on Facebook at all?
I am on Facebook.
Well, you have to join our group because you can see all the comments that come into the chat. And also, I'm going to follow up with some activities for us behind tonight. I'm enjoying this a lot, guys. I needed it. And I love that you've said it multiple times this evening about your intuition.
Mm-hmm.
I love it because we have, over the past couple of weeks, our presenters have been talking about trusting that voice.
Yes.
Some of them have, at least 3 of them have said, when I asked, what would you tell your younger self? They talked about that, about I would go back and tell my younger self to trust that voice, listen to that voice.
Yes.
When you felt uncomfortable, it was time for you to move on, not to sit in it. And I think that many of us have been there and some are there right now. So I love that you are following up that, like you said, the universe is giving us what we need here in this group right now.
Yes, absolutely.
So, let me see. We have a comment from Lauren Roots. Thank you so much for your response. I'll check the group post for your follow-up information about any of the books you find later on. And I will post them, Lauren. And also be sure to connect with Dr. Nikki. Nikki, say your last name.
It's either Modeste or Modeste. Either way is fine with me.
How do you say it?
I say Modeste.
Modeste, okay. So connect with Dr. Modeste, definitely on LinkedIn. I'm gonna post her LinkedIn contact information, and you guys know how that goes. We grow our network here. We need to network, all right?
Yes,
okay,
indeed.
I'm gonna be quiet. Anything else anyone wants to share? This is your time, guys.
Yeah, I also, while you're thinking of potential questions, I'm not sure how many of you are out there, but I think someone had asked, what I do in order to overcome the fear. Another thing that I do that I've written down here, I write down my strengths. I write down all the things that I'm good at so that I can visually see, what my strengths are, and I keep those in mind, that when those doubts come up, I go back to this. My ability to remain calm in the midst of chaos. I can keep a level head. I'm a good listener. I'm creative. I am good at building relationships. I'm an excellent conversationalist. I write all of my strengths down so that I can remind myself what I am absolutely good at and what I have to bring to the table. This by no means is an exhaustive list, but there are so many more. But I do that to help myself. Again, I'm a work in progress. I'm not perfect. And I'll keep reiterating that because I'm human. I'm human to the core, and I'm still learning, and I'm still growing, and I'm not going to stop learning, and I'm not going to stop growing, because I think that's essential for growth and development. And I'm never going to have all the answers, but I can get the answers for you. And I'm okay with not knowing the answers to some of the questions that may be presented to me. That's all right. I don't need to know everything. I'm not I'm not a know-it-all. I've told myself that it's okay. It is all right.
I love it. Dr. Modeste, let me ask you while we're waiting, do you do you have anything based on your studies about writing, like the benefit of writing out your affirmation or writing your thoughts? Can you say anything? Can you speak to that? Because I know a lot of people type, like younger people, they type and they text, but a lot of people don't write anymore, like pen to.
Yeah. Yeah, and, as I mentioned, this
Mhm.
book is about 500 pages. So I've completely filled this entire book with ideas, again, with affirmations, with things that are going on throughout the day. Just so, I've got a lot of things going on in my mind, can't keep track of everything. But writing down allows you to visually see, what it is that you want to achieve, or again, what your strengths are, because then it becomes real. When you write it down, it becomes real, and that's powerful. That then puts it out into the universe. When you write it down and you say it and you speak it, that then becomes, it then becomes out into, you speak it into existence. So it's a very powerful tool to help keep you accountable. You can, if you do both things, you're sure not to forget something. You might have forgotten that you said it, but then you've written it down and you can come back to it. So to me, that's just a way to, as a reminder of the things that I want to achieve, the things that I feel are near and dear to me. I've written down here of, you know, how I want my business to grow. I've written down here, the things that again, the things that I want to achieve. I've got a lot of things down here that I had to remind myself that we're definitely in here. And the powerful, the page that comes up is the career that I want. So I wrote down my career consists of being a consultant where I'm using my education skills and experience. I said this earlier, working remotely at least 3 times a week, traveling across the country, speaking, training, and educating my audience in various topics, making at least X amount of dollars, salary base and bonuses, having an awesome mentor who teaches and guides me as well as develop me. Listen, I've got these things. Some of these things have come true. Some of these things have come to fruition. And because I firmly believe, because I wrote this down, because I spoke it into existence, it's now coming to fruition.
Love it.
I,
I write everything, not everything, but I write a lot. And one of the things that I love to do with my journal is, so I will write something, and then maybe once every couple of months, I look back at everything I wrote, and I go through and I start to note when that came into fruition. So
mm,
I will just say answered or appeared, and I'll put the date. So whether I believe that when I was writing it out, it was a prayer, I will say answered, 11/18/2020. if it's something that I just spoke into existence or wrote and spoke into existence, I will then say appeared 11/18/2020. And that, guys, when I tell you that, when I'm feeling down, I could flip through my journal and see all the things that I manifested. Of course, not on my own, right? Because I believe in a higher power, but I had to put a lot behind these things. I didn't just speak them and they popped up the next morning, right? But it definitely helps to continue to inspire me and encourage me. So that's one of the things that I do.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly believe in that. A manifesting of, what you want. So yes, writing it down and then going back to it and seeing how many things have come to fruition or manifested itself is powerful. It is another way of reminding you, where you've come from and what you still want to achieve.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Okay.
Oh, here's my other book. Yeah, here's my other book. Let me see if I got some. Oh yeah, I've got more affirmations. So I'll say these while we're still waiting, because I love them. I'm evolving. I embrace change. I understand that change is inevitable and always work for my highest good. I am creative. I am whole with or without someone. I am successful. I am intelligent. I stand in my truth and do not waver. I'm open to infinite possibilities. I can be vulnerable and still be strong. I do not lack anything. Everything I need is within me. I ask the universe of what I want. I am one with life. I am life. I am one with the universe. I will not shrink to make others feel comfortable. That is key right there.
Yes.
That is um, I am confident. I will not quiet even when I will not quit even when it's difficult. You must believe in yourself and all that you are capable of. You are strong, resilient, beautiful, and an intelligent being. Show up every day how you want the world to see you. You are unique and there is no one like you. Use your talents and your gifts to make your sphere of influence better. It's okay. It's okay to not have all of the answers. You don't know everything about every subject. um, it's okay not to be okay. Don't take up residence in that space. Do the things that feed your soul. Live authentically in your truth every day. Continue on your path of evolution. Inspire others, motivate others. Be vulnerable even if it feels weird. Do not shrink to make others feel comfortable. Stand tall and shine. There is enough sun for everyone.
I love it.
Well, I feel great. Yeah, those really just they spark a fire in my soul, as my son would say.
How old is your youngest now?
My youngest is 18, so she will be here tomorrow from Chicago. She's at the School of Art, the School of Art Institute of Chicago.
All right. Oh, so you're almost an empty nester.
No, I am an empty nester.
Yeah,
I am.
at school now. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my oldest is 27, so he moved down to Orlando to be with not to be with my mother, but he's living with my mother. And my middle son, he's 19. He's down in Harrisonburg, attending school there at a community college. He took a gap year, so him and my daughter are probably going to graduate at the same time, and that's okay. That's all right.
There's nothing wrong with that. We have quite a few people coming into the group who are going to be talking to us about success without degrees. So, and we have someone from Google Recruiters coming in next month who they're taking these life experiences and they're applying them to, like certain types of experiences are equating a year of school. So getting to places like Google and Facebook without degrees now. So there's nothing a gap year.
Listen, I'm here for it. I'm here for that. There's no recipe for success, you know. There's no there's no guidebook to how we do things. So yeah.
Yes. All right, let me look into the chat and see if anyone dropped anything. Let's see. Okay. No, I'm not seeing anything new, guys. Fantastic. Okay. Now, no questions.
Okay.
All right. All right, guys. We don't have anything, so I'm gonna come in here. Let me come on in.
All
And that down. All right. I have enjoyed this evening.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed being here.
Thank you for being here. So we're gonna go with my I have my let me hello? Okay, I was like, oh gosh, I always click something and mess something up. I didn't, thought I did. Uh, so thank you so much, Dr. Modeste, for being here. I really appreciate you. I think this was timely. This was right on time, this session. And I want you to come back whenever you're ready, whenever you're comfortable, but no pressure, on any topic that you'd like. And I'm going to follow up, guys, in the group with a bunch of prompts about this evening. And, if not tonight, then over the weekend, I'm going to post a lot of quotes that Dr. Modeste said. So Dr. Modeste, what I do is when you're talking, I'm writing.
Oh, okay.
That's why I like to keep my camera closed. And so I write. I love to, if anything just pings me, I write it down and then I quote it in our group. And if you're in the group, you will be tagged of all of these, like, you guys don't realize, the presenters don't realize what you're saying all the time. And you're saying some things that are really, really, they're resonating with our members. Like, I started posting them and then members said like, oh, this is so refreshing during my workday when these things just pop up. And they're your quotes. So I'll be doing that. So you guys know to look for that. So we're going to move on to my 3 questions. But again, thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Oh, no problem. It's my pleasure.
I'm sorry.
Why are you sorry?
Because I cut you off.
Oh, no worries.
And guys, this is another one of my LinkedIn connections that I did not know. I just reached out. We always talk about the power of LinkedIn and the power of connecting. And I think we first spoke maybe in June or July, Dr. Modeste?
Yeah.
So again, just another one of the helpers. We have to watch the helpers, and this is the helper here. So I'm going to go ahead to our 3 questions. Dr. Modeste, CDPD's mission is to increase marginalized and BIPOC groups access to employment opportunities and representation in the workforce by providing our members with free training, mentorship, and other resources. I founded CDPD in response to record unemployment and underemployment rates resulting from COVID-19. So keeping that in mind, I'd like to ask you if you have ever been marginalized or in a situation when you felt like you were marginalized. I'm not talking about, well, it could be self-marginalization too, let me not say. So even if you self-marginalized, which we do, could you share it with us?
Sure. So I've had numerous experiences where I've felt, that I was being discriminated against. And unfortunately, at that time, I wasn't that knowledgeable to know that, I could do something about it. I've been just last year, I was in a hostile work environment. But instead of, me saying something and speaking up, because I, had some choice words as well, I wanted to let it go. I didn't want to invite that energy into my space. And I've worked hard to get to the point where I'm able to manage stress, effectively, and not be able to let it consume me and be detrimental to my health. So I just didn't want that energy. But there's been countless of other times, that I've experienced, some discrimination, and again, not being knowledgeable about the things that I could have done. I just decided to just move on, and it's been unfortunate, but I've used those experiences to help propel me to one, not work for a manager that does that to people, and then correct them when they do stuff that's not conducive of a healthy work environment. And I vowed to myself that that's why I got my degrees, to help those managers who they don't know how to lead people. They, maybe have been placed into the position without getting those skills and necessary tools in order to lead people effectively. At the end of the day, we're all humans. We're not robots, and we have emotions and we have feelings, and then we have stuff that goes on, outside of work, right? And we can bring all that stuff into work. As we may try to leave that stuff at the door, it's really hard, to just drop things and then compartmentalize and be able to be productive. That just does not work. It may work for some, but not for everybody. So that is a very long answer to your question, but yeah, yes.
Well, I asked the question because I want our members to know that in spite of marginalization, people can have success, right?
Mhm.
So I love even in your response where you say that as recently as last year, you were in a situation that was challenging and a hostile work situation. And now this year, it's totally different, right?
Oh, absolutely different, night and day.
Mhm.
Um, Again, it's still a work in progress. I'm not quite where, but I want to be. But the experiences that I've had this year are nowhere compared to what I've had last year. Everything this year so far. Let's take off the first three parts of the year, but everything past March, where I've been networking, I've been really connecting with people who have been positive, who have poured into my life, and who have, provided me some of their experiences and some of their journey, and know that you're not the only one out there that has experienced some trials and some tribulations and some toxic work environments, and a crappy boss or a crappy coworker, and you're unable to really be productive because you're in that environment, just where you just can't thrive. I know all about that. I've experienced that, but we're not on a boat by ourselves. There are lots of people out there who can give you stories, and who can provide you that insight, of what they've gone through. So yeah, it's night and day of what has happened last year, and up till the end of November. Here we are, that things have gotten so much better for me, and I only see it just going up from here.
See that as well. And that's exactly why I asked this question, right? So that our members can see, if they're currently feeling marginalized in a situation, that there's another side to this. That it's possible to have success, right?
Yes.
Now, their success may not look like your success, but
Right.
just the fact that if you are currently sitting in a situation where you're feeling like you're being abused, right, or you're being marginalized, that know that could change. I mean, it definitely takes a lot of energy from you and you yourself making some decisions on what you want and what you're going to do, but it's not the end all be all. And I think a lot of times we believe when we're in these situations that that's it. Woe is me, I'm here, and this is all there is. And there's so much more in store.
Well, yeah, yeah. I talked about being in the thick of that that struggle and not being able to see the forest for the trees. It's so hard because, sometimes things are coming at you at different directions that just seem to be negative upon negative upon negative. They say when it rains, it pours, but that can put you in a space where, just another day, that I'm going to get hit with something. So it then becomes, second nature for you to expect the negative, right? But no, you can't do that. Know that it rains, but then the sun shines, at some point in time. It just has to, by law of, nature, the sun comes out eventually. So, thinking of that analogy that troubles don't last always, and that this too shall pass. And I never knew the meaning of that until I was in the thick of it, and then I got on the other side and was then looking back, I'm like, okay, I understand what that means now. That it sucks. It definitely sucks, but it gets better.
It does, and that's exactly why I asked the question. So thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
My favorite question. Yes, it's my favorite question, this one here. So, Dr. Modeste, if you could go back in time anywhere to your younger self at any point in your career journey or your educational journey, and you could tap yourself on the shoulder and give yourself some advice that would have helped you along the way, what would you go back and say to a younger version of Dr. Modeste?
I would tell myself to stay disciplined. I would tell myself not to quit, even though it gets hard. And I would tell myself that you are capable of far so much more than you can even see at this point in time.
I love it. It is so funny. It is once we get through it that we realize, my goodness, I had all that in me to fight through that. It is after, when you're in it, you realize you're fighting sometimes.
Yeah, well, that's why I had that warrior up on the slide, because I have survived, and I'm a fighter. So I will continue to be a warrior queen, because I am by no means done, in this journey. So here I am.
Right now. All right. Guys, if you have anything, this is the time, and I don't see anything, so you guys have nothing. All right, this is the last question.
Okay.
You gave us so much this evening. You gave us so much, and I have so many quotes. They're going to be peppered all weekend. Your quotes are going to be peppered through the group, and I love it. If we could only walk away with one thing this evening, what would you want that to be?
Oh my gosh, one thing. I don't do well with just one thing.
All right, I'll give you two. I'll give you two.
You give me two. Okay. So two things that I think are critical to us as people is, don't lose sight of who you are. And I know that we evolve as people over the time, because our experiences kind of shape and mold us. But at the core, again, we're capable of so much more than we know. And to remind yourself that you've got everything in you that you need. So don't lose sight of who you are, and don't settle, just to satisfy an emotion.
All right, Corona Daze Professional Development Group, we are done for this evening. I thank you so much, Dr. Nikki Modeste. Again, you have an open invite. Whenever you're ready, you let me know. No pressure though. Guys, if you're catching this on the replay, let us know you catch it on the replay. If you enjoyed this and you are not a Corona Daze Professional Development Group member, please join us. If you enjoy this, just share it with your network and help them as well. So I thank you again. I appreciate you, and I am honored to be connected with you.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on here. It was great. I definitely would love to do it again. Maybe something different. But I feel like I've been put on this earth to help inspire and to help motivate my people. So
right now,
I intend to do that.
All right, and I love that woman on fire. I love that.
Yes.
That will definitely be in my quotes.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Modeste. I
Thank
hope
you.
you can enjoy your holiday if you celebrate. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
And
Thank
you
you.
as well.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay.